Hello and welcome to the latest ADR Chat with me, Asha Sherwood. And today I'm joined by Laura Cedrone. She's the co-owner of Punchy, a company based here in Abu Dhabi that provides services and workshops to support people and businesses across the UAE. So welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much.
So we've gone from sort of CV and sort of developing your career, maybe externally, if you like. And we move to something else, which is quite maybe the other end of the scale, really.
Yes. Yep.
Vision boards. I recently took a vision board class with Punchy, and opened my eyes. I've got a lot of friends who do believe in vision boards and manifesting and all of these things. So, and a lot of you listening do believe in that as well. And I find that I want to believe in it, but I don't have the time, which I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. But yeah, I want to do all these things. I've done the vision board with Laura, actually, and it's still in my bag. Still haven't looked at it since the last time I did it. Actually, it was on my computer as well. I had a quick look then. But I'd love to know, well, for anybody who doesn't know what a vision board is, Laura will explain that in a minute. But also, I'd love to know, why people do it and how it's going to benefit them.
I think right now, especially, there is a focus on manifesting and designing your own life and getting the things that you want. So it's kind of a hot topic right now, vision boards. We hadn't intended to offer vision boards as a workshop. I happen to make vision boards for myself and mood boards. And so it's something that I do personally, but I hadn't thought of offering it. But we were asked about, if we could deliver it for a group of people. I think the reason why people want it is because it speaks to them personally, and people like to think about getting what they want. People like to think about reaching their goals. It's funny you say, we're all so busy and we don't have time and it's still in your bag. Completely understand. No, it's fine. You're not the only one. I mean, my vision board is my desktop wallpaper. I do look at it every single day, but there are weeks where I think, okay, next week, I'll get to this next week. One of the things that we do in our workshop is we want people to articulate their goals. So even if you go through the workshop, you make your vision board, and like you say, you don't have time. I mean, I know how busy you are. Yeah. I know how tired you are.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
So your vision board is in your bag. Okay, that's fine. You've at least taken some time to articulate your goals so that at least you're clearer on them. So sometimes people sit down to make a vision board, they cut out a bunch of pictures from a magazine, they think, yep, this is the body I want, this is the vacation I want, this is the money I want, this is the job I want. They slap it together, but then they don't know what to do with it. So in our workshop, we talk about how can you activate this? How can you have check-ins with yourself? How can you actually use this as a tool to make things happen? Whether or not somebody believes in manifesting and, energy and that sort of thing, we don't really touch on that in the workshop. What we talk about is practical. Okay, you've articulated your goals. You've put down goals you knew you had and some you didn't know you didn't know before the workshop that you had. What can you actually do with this now? So for me, and I share this in the workshop, I have a weekly meeting with myself about my vision board. And if I notice that after 3 or 4 weeks in a row, I'm not working on a specific area, I need to reevaluate. Is it important to me? And if it's not, I need to remove it. If it is, why am I not making time for it? Or what can I adjust to make time for it? So it's just helping people be more practical in reaching their goals, because it's very easy to say, I want the Bora Bora vacation. Great. How do we get you from identifying that as a goal to actually achieving it? And that kind of A to Z framework or planning, that's a common thread throughout all of the Punchy workshops. We have a lot of skill development workshops. Some of them are personal, some of them are professional. Essentially, if we had to hone everything down, it comes down to, I want to be this way, whether that's organized or confident or better at presentations or whatever it may be. I'm here, how do I get from here to there? And all of that is linked to vision boards, really. So it's a surprise offering from us, but it's one of the most fun workshops to teach, actually.
Well, it was brilliant. And actually, what I really loved about it, and I don't want to spoil it for people who do the workshops, but I definitely think it's worth doing, because there were some questions that you asked at the start of us, you know, I don't want to spoil them, but where we thought we were in our lives, or what we thought people thought of us, or all of those things. And actually, it was so interesting that when we got to the end of those 9 or 12 questions, or whatever it was, what I thought about myself in terms of why I'm put on this earth, frankly. And it was really interesting to see the answer, because I've known that in the back of my head for a really long time. So, and I won't give that away because I don't want to spoil it for you. But I've got, and do you think that seeing your goal helps? You know, the image that you use for your holiday, or the image that you use for podcasts, for example.
Yeah. So there's 2 things there. I think one is using the right images, and you probably in the workshop, I harp on and on about it. Don't just pick a picture. I'm very specific, because you have to have a connection to that picture. If you grab a stock photo and put it on your vision board, if it doesn't speak to you, the whole point of a vision board is to motivate you and remind you. So if it doesn't speak to you, you're not going to feel connected, and you won't care as much. So the first thing is choosing the right image. The second thing is, for me, it keeps me accountable, because one of the pictures I chose is about a particular goal for Punchy. And when I look at it, I want it so much that I've noticed doing my weekly check-in since January, I haven't skipped a week working towards that goal, because when I see that image, I feel so much that that's what I want to be able to accomplish this year, this calendar year. So it works for me because it keeps me accountable.
Yeah.
If you want this thing, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If you're not working towards it, that's fine. Sometimes your goals change. Sometimes you just are tired. Sometimes you're just so busy and you can't get to the big picture items, and that's okay. But if you're going through life so quickly that you're never working towards those things, you may need to take a step back. It may be a time management issue. It may just be you need to readjust your priorities. But the visuals really, really keep that at the front of your mind.
And what would you say to people who think it's a load of rubbish?
It's fine. I mean, I have people in my family who think it's a bit silly. I will say, though, one of my great victories was doing a test run of the workshop when we built it on a skeptic who I will not name.
Okay.
Someone in my life who thought, vision boards, really, manifesting and all this stuff. And I said, I'm not coming at this from a manifesting angle.
Yeah.
I don't think if you make a vision board and put it on your fridge, it's all going to come true. But I know, because I've made vision boards for the past 6 or 7 years. And when I look at past ones, the things have come true because I've worked towards them. I know that there's something there. So I did run a test workshop on said person, and said person is now a believer, because I asked them to keep their vision board visible somewhere for 1 month, and to be honest, and check in after a month and tell me how they felt. And they said they had already ticked 2 of those boxes, and that they would continue to make vision boards. Whether they will or they won't, I can't say. But I think once you go through the exercises, and like you said, we ask a series of questions. Yeah. So it's not just, let's all get rich and fit and, have the dream job or whatever. That's not the vision board workshop we lead. We want it to be more practical. So maybe if we do things from a practical angle, maybe we'll get some of those non-believers to buy into it a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would say that maybe people are not non-believers.
Yeah.
The right phrase. But it's just, it's just having the time, and it's having it's not even the patience, but it's almost like having the memory to remember to look at it sometimes. And I know that if you put it somewhere that's easy to find, you're going to see it every day. But yeah, I mean, and that could be just an excuse from my side, so I do need to put it on the fridge. But I've got to say that it's very much like what you were saying, that you're working towards it. And it made, when you mentioned that, it made me think about my daughter, for example. So, she wants, let's say, an iPhone. Touchy subject, but she wants an iPhone, and we've said, well, you have to work towards that. What have you been doing that works towards that, or whatever it is that she wants? What are you doing to work towards that? And I think it's funny, because when you have kids, or you have other people around you, you're asking them those questions, but you don't actually ask them to yourself. because you are just constantly doing stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you're doing, you're working towards something, whether it's that targeted goal or whether it's just surviving.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes I think where people kind of get a little bit, well, I'm already working towards stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you need to really break it down and say, these are the 3 things I want to work towards this month or this year.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't have to put 35 things on your vision board, and they don't have to be lofty goals. You don't have to put on your vision board, right, vacation home in Bali. If that's not something that's realistic for you to work towards right now, or if that thought just terrifies you and overwhelms you, that's okay. You can either put it on and work towards it very, very incrementally if you're comfortable, or you can back burner that.
Yeah.
And maybe your vision board for this year is, I want to make time to go to 1 yoga class a week. You know what's realistic for you, right? And we've had people come through the vision board workshop who say, I just don't have the time. Like, this sounds great. I'd love to achieve these things, but I don't have the time. Then it's a case of, can we support you through time management? And it's not to say people are not good at time management. A lot of people are just overloaded, right?
Yeah.
And whether that's a function of, this is the society we live in, whether that's a function of you're an ambitious person who has a lot of things you want to accomplish and the time is now, that's fine. But there are strategies we can help with for time support. Sometimes the time support comes down to either giving something up or, pushing something back. So yes, this is important to me, but I literally don't have time to take 5 minutes to myself in a day. So this thing will have to wait. It just depends on what is necessary. We're all trying to survive, and it's tough. It is tough. And not to keep, picking out different workshops we offer, but we have a workshop, and it's our shortest because of time. We have a workshop called Survival Mode, and it's for when you're in those busy seasons of your life, and for the next month, 3 months, 6 months, work is going to be crazy. You have visitors coming from overseas. You have 6 big events, and you're also, you're going to have a minor surgery. And for the next 6 months, none of the extras are going to get done. What do you do? Because we've all been through it at some point, but one of the things that my co-founder and I tried to do with our workshops is speak from experience. What works for us? What did we learn? We do a lot of research. What works for other people? We want it to be practical. And that was the main guiding principle behind founding Punchy, is practical ways to support people. It's lovely to go to an arts and crafts, workshop if you have the time. It's lovely. Sometimes people need something that's going to give them a skill that they can use in their daily life. Arts and crafts are valuable. They help. They're relaxing. It is a skill you can take with you, but sometimes you need a skill that you can use in your daily life or in your work life. Not to knock arts and crafts specifically. I'm just comparing the ways we can use our time.
It's a lot of things in Abu Dhabi, to be honest.
And good ones too.
No, I agree, because you're taking something tangible with you if you go and do an arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Around my house, you will see a lot of them. But it'll just sit there, right? You're not actually moving on with it. And I think what you're saying is, I think there's 2 courses there that I might have to join in the next few weeks. Time management, and what's the other one?
Survival mode.
Survival mode. I need that every day, to be honest. So yeah, I think what you're saying is absolutely right. You're right. You can do any of these courses. You can do a gym class. You can do, yoga. You can do an arts and crafts.
We're so spoiled here. There's so much to do.
Yeah, there is almost too much to do.
Yeah.
Trust me, I don't have enough time to do everything. But you're right. Learning something in a fun way, in a practical way, that you can then take home with you, that will help to further your career, help you achieve your goals. And I think that's so important. And
one of the things that when we set up Punchy, we knew we wanted to do some workshops. We knew the skill sets we could offer as services, but we were so conscious that we wanted to serve Abu Dhabi communities, and we wanted to serve them in a way that met people where they are.
Yeah.
And the reality is, we're all busy. We're all, overloaded from time to time. And we wanted to make sure that it wasn't a time commitment thing. You don't have to sign up and do 12 weeks of workshops, because that's not realistic. We wanted to have something where people come in, you sit with us for 2 hours, maybe 1 hour, and you go away with something usable. And maybe you don't come back for another workshop for another year or 2 years because life, and you're just busy, and it's not realistic that you're going to come every month. But you know that if you're going to come to a workshop, it's a short time commitment. You come, you get what you pay for. It's punchy. It's in and out, and it's punchy. That was the whole thing, because my partner and I, we were both working professionals. We had busy jobs, and we wanted something like Punchy to exist. And we thought this is something that people could use, and it will help them. And we want everybody in Abu Dhabi to have the opportunity to better themselves without overwhelming themselves. Because I took some language classes when I first moved here. I was learning French, and I took some language classes, and it was a great experience, but I committed to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
By week 6, my job got a lot busier. I was burnt out, and I finished the course, but just barely, because it wasn't realistic. And so we kept that in mind all along. Every time we sign up for something, we think, if it's more than a 2-week commitment, will we be able to see it through? Because life changes so fast.
Yes, especially here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think you're right. I mean, even sometimes a gym membership is too much to think of 3 months or 6 months. So,
and you don't want to sink in, heaps of money.
No.
And a lot of the time you can't get it back, or you get it back in credit, or it's a struggle. Life changes very quickly, right? What if you move cities? What if you were living on, Yas Island, and now you've moved to Shaqbut City? What are you supposed to do? Your gym is here, and your life is here, and you've uprooted yourself. And there just needs to be more flexibility in things. Yeah. So that was one of our, I guess, one of our points of our mission or our vision was to make things easier for people, especially people in Abu Dhabi, because we want the Emirate, we want happy people. That's what we want.
I love that. We all want to be happy people as well. That's the thing. So you do these for individuals. You also do them for corporate groups as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And we talked about the fact that you do it in English and Arabic.
Yeah.
So tell me, I mean, you've mentioned, I know we were going to talk about CVs and vision boards, and you've mentioned survival mode course and time management. Any other courses that you think people might be interested to know about?
So the ones that we get asked about the most frequently, one I think is just because of the name and people are curious. So we have a workshop called Rut Breaking.
Rut breaking.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Actually, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's an interesting one because people are curious, and they think, I am in a rut, I'm in a routine, it's a bit boring, I'm a bit stagnant, but we're all busy, right? So sometimes you think, I don't really have the time to change my habits or to change my way of living. So rut breaking is just for when you feel stuck. It's called Rut Breaking, Getting Unstuck. And it could be that your mindset is stuck. It could be that you're just bored of your daily life and you want to mix it up a little bit. So we get a lot of questions about that, and I will not talk about it because it's the most surprising workshop we offer.
Okay, third one on the list.
I won't talk about it.
I'm not even in a rut. I'm not even in a rut, but I think I might give it a go.
It's just I would say it's the most fun outside the box workshop that we have. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one we get asked a lot about is we have a workshop on thoughtfulness and gifting. So thoughtfulness doesn't always have to be about giving gifts. Thoughtfulness can permeate your life in different ways. And there's a lot of ways to be a thoughtful person. And again, I feel like the theme of our chat today is time, because it comes back to, but I don't have time. Being thoughtful takes a lot of time and energy and effort. And it can, but it also doesn't have to. Yeah. So we have a few different strategies and ways that you can build it into your daily life without it costing a fortune. Yeah. When people think about being thoughtful, they think, oh gosh, I'm going to have to buy loads of gifts and spend loads of money and show up to many events, and everything costs a lot. That's not what we're focused on. We're focused on being thoughtful because you want to show up for people in your life, in the figurative sense. Yeah. And then the gift giving is part of it. We have a lot of people come to us for gift idea consultations. That's something that we do as a service. People are so bored of giving the same gift. Yeah. Or when you know someone and you want to gift them, but you don't quite know what to give them, and you default, which is fine, flowers or, you know, a nice box of dates or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But there are people who think, I want to be better, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
And we developed a workshop around it. So those are on the personal development side, but they're very popular, which we thought more people would want. Professional development. You know, we have a workshop on modern business writing and things like upgrading your project proposals. People want to know how to be thoughtful and give better gifts. So
that's amazing. I wonder if a lot of that has come through, you know, when we had COVID and lockdown, and, you know, so many people were alone, so many people were in a rut.
Yeah.
Some depressed even, you know, like there was some people went through amazing times and some went through absolute awful times. And I wonder if a lot of, because you said the workplace has changed, the way that people hire has changed. I wonder if a lot of people are not looking at the professional side as much because they need to work on their personal side, which then maybe they think will help them in their professional.
Well, that's, I mean, whether it's the personal or professional development side, what we try to help people with or help them develop is soft skills. And of course, there's always going to be an emphasis or a focus on the technical skills, the hard skills as jobs change. But as jobs change, as the future of work changes, as we have these articles coming out about AI and robots and automation taking jobs and things like that, there's always an accompanying voice that says, but you could never replace the human element, right? So yes, of course, there might be automated taxis coming our way. There may be things that, you know, we don't even know are going to be automated and it's coming, of course. But there are certain professions that we don't worry so much about because you need that human element. And as long as we know people need to still be humans, we will always need to upgrade our soft skills. So you can be the greatest coder on the planet, but if you can't have a conversation with a coworker, that's difficult for your boss and your colleagues. So it's offering things to people that will help them be more employable, even as we all get worried about, you know, technology and what does that mean? And what does that mean for our children? And what does that mean in the future? Will I be employable? If you can upgrade yourself across the board and have good transferable skills, you will be more adaptable no matter what industry you're in.
Yeah. You guys do this in English, but you also do it in Arabic, don't you?
We do. Every workshop, every service we offer, everything that we do, we offer it in English or Arabic or co-facilitated. So my co-founder, my business partner, he's a native Arabic speaker. So everything that we offer, we can do it in either language.
Talking about that, how do people contact you? What's your Instagram profile name?
Punchy UAE on Instagram and on TikTok. But the best way to get in touch with us is through our website, which is punchy.ae. And our WhatsApp is on there. You can WhatsApp us, call us, email us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And get in contact with Laura if there's anything that you need in terms of helping to develop your career, helping to develop you personally as well. As you've heard, they've got so many different courses, and I feel like there's going to be a few more. Thank you all for being here, and we'll speak to you soon. Till the next time. Bye.